Why did my subscribers grow from 15 to 12,000 in just 3 months? Why did a Brazilian pop singer make a TikTok about me? This is the surprising and unexpected origin story of this YouTube channel. Before we get into it, make sure you open up the description to this video so you can see all the questions that I've answered, and just click the timestamp and jump around to the content that interests you most. Thanks for watching. Why does this YouTube channel even exist? I was listening to the same music over and over, the same songs, the same bands, and even when I tried to use the recommended for you type algorithms in Apple Music, I felt like it was just more of the same thing. There wasn't really anything new or interesting. Also, during that time, I was watching lots of reactions to the band Tool, my favorite band. So if you search Tool reaction on YouTube, you'll get a ton of different people who've listened to Tool for the first time. I thought that was an exciting way to make videos, but what I thought was the most interesting is that all of the people making the reactions said the best part about making reactions was that people would comment on those videos and then suggest new bands and new songs that they thought that reactor might like based on the fact that they just like this Tool song. So here's this other band that you may have never heard. You should check them out. And so I thought that might be a solution to finding new music for myself. Another important part in the decision to kind of start a YouTube channel was I didn't have any creative outlet. So I've been, let's see, as a kid, I used to draw. I thought I wanted to be an architect because they get to draw all day. I was in some creative careers. I kind of put all that stuff sort of on hold, and I wasn't really doing anything that I thought was super creative, especially not. There might have been a little bit here and there for work, but that was obviously had a specific outcome in mind. It wasn't just being creative and doing something artistic just for the sake of doing something artistic and creative. And so I needed to find something like that. Talking to a friend of mine, Mike, who's a life coach, and going over all of this with him, and he said something that stands out to me. And he just said, basically, you already have all of the gear you need, the camera, the microphone. You have been a designer, web designer, etc. So you already know kind of the software and what's required, and basically you have the skills to make the videos. In a very like calm, kind of not aggressive way, he just said, "What are you waiting for?" And that was the final piece that motivated me to upload the first reaction. What was the plan for content and the types of videos you would make? I started with reactions because I wanted to find new music. The second reason I started with reactions is because they're so simple and easy to do. Taking that a step further, I made it as simple as I could possibly make it. A lot of those reactions that I've made, there are no edits. I listen to it, make sure I didn't say anything crazy, or I didn't say or ah too many times. And then I might just upload that file with 0 edits. And so that was my goal. That's how I tried to make the process as easy and simple as possible, just so that I could not use that as an excuse. I wanted to record the videos and be able to publish them as quickly as possible to create some momentum. And then just to say, like, okay, this is easy. I can do this. The process is smooth right from the beginning. And I thought, if I do that and I get to a rhythm, then I can just keep going. And then I would do several of them and then decide, like, do I want to continue? What do I want to do next? So that's why I started with reactions. However, I did want to do other types of videos. I didn't know exactly what, but I wanted to at least try creating completely original videos, meaning I would come up with some idea, I'd write a script, I try to write my own jokes, see if I could make people laugh. And that was pretty exciting and a little bit uh, scary to try that. And so that was the idea, but I knew that I wouldn't take on that challenge first. I had to do something simpler just to get started, and that's why I started with reactions, with the idea that later on I would try to either write my own scripts, create some new videos, and then the interview kind of idea came a bit later. Why would I do audio only reactions? So I have a pretty strong love and hate relationship with sound, positive and negative. On the negative side, for example, it's really hard for me to sit in the same room with someone who is eating crunchy food, especially if there's no other sound. The sound of that will drive me crazy. Why? I don't know. It's the same thing with loud motors. So cars, motorcycles, lawnmowers, etc., are just overwhelmingly irritating to me. The flip side to that is when I hear music or sounds that I enjoy, it can be very potent. I would say intoxicating or even euphoric, where I become kind of like giddy and my heart rate goes up. And I've even had the thought, listening to certain songs, where I would think in my head, I wish I could take this song, turn it into a liquid so that I could inject it into my veins. I guess that's the long way of just saying I love audio, and the video side of it, like a music video, is really unnecessary for me. It's just the audio experience is, yeah, just so potent that I love it. And so that's why I just started with audio only reactions. So, what was my plan for the look and feel, the vibe, or the tone of the videos that I was going to make? It's simple and cliche to say, but it's absolutely true in my case. I wanted to make the videos in a style that I myself would want to watch. So, for example, I've never wanted to be an actor. So, playing a role, creating a character, or even just a more excitable version of myself, like specifically like around a reaction, that just wasn't going to happen for me. I just can't do that. I thought that trying to do that would be exhausting, day in and day out, having to kind of like put the game face on and then be that person. Even if it's just a slightly like me tuned up, I just didn't think I would be able to do it. So that removed kind of a hurdle for me, and I think made this whole process a little bit easier. So basically, what I decided was I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to talk at whatever my normal tone is. If I think something is exciting or great, I'm going to say it. If I don't like it, I'm just going to say it. And so I thought that being myself in again in a music reaction kind of video way, just being myself was the only way that this would work for me long term. I don't want to have to maintain a character for as long as I'm making these videos. In addition to that, there were some other specific things that I've seen in other videos that I liked and disliked. And so I took all the stuff out that I disliked. And to be very specific, there is no intro animation or title screen on any of my videos. They just start with me talking because I want to get to the music as fast as possible. And so those are gone. So I don't even say my own name. I don't even introduce myself. I just say, today I'm going to listen to this and I don't know anything about them and here we go. I do it that quickly because that's what people are coming to see in those videos. They're not coming to see like, my logo up on screen animated or whatever. And so I try to get them into that content they came to see as quickly as possible. The other thing is that I don't believe I've ever said and didn't want to do was to just talk about even liking or subscribing. And then so none of that's there. There's never going to be any buttons, any of that stuff on screen. One, because I don't like those things when I see them. Two, it just adds time. As I went previously, I said I wanted the process of creating a reaction video to be as easy as possible, even if that means not editing. Ideally, that's the state. I press record, I press stop recording, and I can upload that without edits. Adding all these other things, these layers of like introductions and buttons and stuff and sound effects, I knew I wouldn't do that long term. So I just didn't include it right from the start. And so they're very streamlined. That was by design before I uploaded the first video. The original videos that I've done, so like the K-pop misconceptions, I did one talking about how I hate Christmas music. All of those are basically, I would say, me and my sense of humor. So I wrote those scripts, I inserted those jokes. I thought they were funny to me, so I hoped that other people would like it. So what is me, right? I wanted it to be me. And so I think my aesthetic is pretty simple. I get comments. There've been several comments that say you're a boring reactor. And I thought that was interesting. I thought that was an insult at first, but I take that now as a compliment because that means I've reached my goal. I am still being me. If you see me jumping up and down getting out of my chair, hooting and hollering, then you'll know that I've lost the plot. Another aspect to the reactions, specifically the screen where it's me doing the reactions. So I'm in a tiny little box, and then I always wanted to have the album cover shown along with the group or the band, the artist, the track name, and the album name. I wanted those always on screen. So basically, I wanted the music, the album, the artist, all of that to be front and center. I don't want anyone to be watching my video and forget who that artist is. And I did that intentionally because I want the music to be as important as me. I mean, when I started this, nobody knew who I was. I'm just this tiny little head talking. I'm not a brand. They come to see this artist. I want them to know at all times what I'm talking about, what the song is. That way, they can go search for that song, add it to their playlist, and support that artist. That's why the layout of my reactions are exactly the way they are. The only real technical detail that I thought had to be maybe the highest quality or very high quality while creating the videos is, of course, the audio part. I was okay with making videos where the video itself wasn't so great, but the audio I knew had to be great, if not excellent. So what I did is I actually purchased pro-ish, like a podcast mic. I'm speaking into it right now. I think it was about, I don't know, $300. It's a Shure MK7 something or other. And I worked really hard to try to test out piping the music into the recording software as well as my voice and dialing those up and down with the quality so that when I upload that video, ideally the person watching can hear the music in as high quality as I'm hearing it in those headphones. I don't think that's actually possible. I think YouTube actually compresses it a little bit, so it's probably not as high. But that is the part of this process I've spent the most time on is getting the sound right. Typically, when I have to edit a reaction, it's most likely not because I said something stupid. A lot of times, I don't even edit that stuff out. I leave that in. But it's probably because something happened with the sound and I have to go in and adjust. So the tricky part, especially when you're doing an album reaction, is that songs on that album might be quieter or louder, and you don't know when, especially when I'm just playing it through. And so it can be surprising, and then I'll have to go in after the recording and take that sound down or bring it up so that it's consistent with all of the other tracks on that album for the reaction, and that's a lot of work. So I put a lot of time into the audio. The thumbnails. So the original idea for the reaction thumbnails was I wanted them to be anti-clickbait and I wanted them to be anti-template. I just wanted it to be creative and I wanted it to be relative or relevant to whatever that song or album was that I was listening to. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about reactors or any other types of YouTube content. The formula is pretty obvious, especially if you go looking for it. You can look up any huge YouTube channel, go to their videos tab, and you can see templates and all the tactics they use in order to get people to click. I guarantee you the largest YouTube channels are constantly testing what works and what doesn't, what gets the most clicks. Even YouTube will tell you if you want to have people watch your videos, it comes down to the thumbnail because that's the first chance you have to get someone to view it is they have to see that thumbnail and that thumbnail must make them want to click. And there are some tactics that you can use that are kind of clickbaity stuff that actually work. So my original goal was to go the opposite direction and just make them a little bit more goofy and weird and make me laugh essentially and not be clickbaity and not be a template. So that was the start of the thumbnails. So what was my definition of success for these videos or the channel in general? Well, for me, I'm not chasing viral fame or money. This is a hobby for me, not a career. Basically, what I asked myself is like three questions really to define the success. And those are people in the comments suggesting new music? And then when I go listen to that, do I actually like it? So that's question number one. The question The second question is the process for me of making videos, whether it's reactions or original videos, is that creatively fulfilling for me? And then the last one is just, is it fun? Like, I don't want it to be a painful process. I try to streamline it and make it as enjoyable as possible. So it's those three questions. And basically, if I can answer yes to all of those, then that's a success for me. Whatever the subs are, whatever the views are, irrelevant for me at this point. I just am doing it because I like doing it, and I just like the challenge of creativity and making something that didn't exist. And that's why I do it. What was I afraid of? Every time I record a reaction, I'm afraid that I won't have anything to say, or whatever I say won't be interesting. In the first few reactions, I was worried that nobody would want to listen to what I say, or listen to my opinions, simply because I'm not in the music industry. I don't know anything about music. I don't write songs. I can't read notes. I don't play any instruments. I have no affiliation to that industry or that skill set whatsoever. I was worried that everybody would hate the videos. That was a pretty strong fear I had at the beginning. I know that being on YouTube, you'll get the occasional negative comments, and that's fine. You can't get around that. It's just going to happen. But for some reason, I had this kind of probably irrational fear that I would put up a video and it would get 1,000 thumbs downs and 1,000, this video sucks comments, and 0 likes and 0 positive comments. How do I hear those weird sounds in the music? There've been a lot of comments on these reactions saying that I can hear things on the first take that fans of the music who've listened to that song over and over and over haven't picked up. Weird sounds like, oh, there's a bird here. And talking specifically about like Stray Kids, for example, because they use a lot of unusual sounds, animal sounds and things. And if I say, "Oh, that sounded like, that was an elephant in, their song Circus," there will be people who comment and say, "I've listened to that song 100 times. I've never heard that elephant until you pointed it out." I don't know what that means. I don't think I'm doing anything differently. I don't think my ears are different. That question has come up so many times. I honestly have no answer. I can't explain it. I assumed that everybody heard the same thing that I was. This is probably another thing that I was actually afraid of, is that if I'm just pointing these things out, people are just say, "Yeah, dummy, I know that was an elephant. I've heard that. Like, tell me something new about this track that I didn't know before." So it's still to me that's still such a surprising comment because it was something I never expected, and I don't know what the difference is. I don't know how to answer that question. So what actually happened? In early September 2024, I started posting reactions. Those videos only got maybe 20 or 30 views over a couple of weeks. But on September 16th of 2024, I had 15 subscribers and I posted a reaction to the Stray Kids 8 album. This is where it gets crazy. A week later, I was monetized or eligible for monetization on YouTube. And that requires 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watched video time. That was in 1 week. So then 55 days later, or 55 days after I posted the first Stray Kids video, so this is November 8th, I reached 10,000 subscribers. And then by the end of the year, December 31st, I had 12,000 subscribers and over 1 million views on those videos. So why did the channel grow so fast? Two things, in my opinion. One, the biggest reason, Stray Kids and their fans. Number two is dumb luck on my part because I unknowingly reacted to Stray Kids, which is a group with an enormous fan base, a passionate fan base who shows up and watches those reactions and comments and subscribes and all that stuff. So the fact that I listened to them, picked them, was dumb luck. I think the part that was really lucky is the fact that I actually liked that music. It would have been different if I disliked it. But because I liked it, that I don't know, started this madness. So why did I react to K-pop and Stray Kids? I knew K-pop was huge globally, but I had never listened to it, and so I just thought maybe I should try it. It was completely unfamiliar to me. I was curious about it. It had to be popular for a reason, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if I would like it, hate it. I didn't know really what type of music it was. And so one day in September, I just searched YouTube for K-pop reactions. I avoided the two K-pop groups that I had heard of, not listened to, just heard of, because it's kind of unavoidable to hear about them, and that's BTS and Blackpink. So I saw a bunch of reactions, in the search results on YouTube for BTS and Blackpink, and I thought, that's pretty obvious. I just wanted to try something that I had never heard before. It's a group I had never heard before in this K-pop genre. So I kept scrolling and I saw a few people talking about Stray Kids. At the time, their most recent release was 8, the album 8, ATE. And I thought, okay, that's a potential. And I had never heard of them. Great. Didn't know what the music was. Awesome. It'll be a surprise. And then because those reactions are on YouTube, I thought it would work. And that's simply because it means YouTube was not blocking those reactions. As you know, some groups or record labels, I don't know where to draw the line, block that kind of stuff, block that content. And so it really was Stray Kids, I think because there was a new album out, there were reactions already on YouTube and YouTube allowed it. And so that was enough. I was just like, "Okay, I'll just try this group. I don't know anything about it. I'll just give it a shot." So what is interesting about the data from the people who are watching these videos? Number 1, the watch time blew my mind. So from so basically from September 2024 through December 2024, more than half of the people watching my videos were watching on their phone. I just assumed it would be a computer. So it was 52% were watching on their phone, 25% were watching on a computer, and then 11% was watching on a TV. And that shocked me. I just thought people would mostly watch YouTube on, say, like a laptop while you're whatever, before you go to bed kind of thing. So that was really surprising for me. Second, and I think even more surprising, is the number of countries that people are from who are watching these videos, and specifically the United States. I had assumed most of the views and subs and all that would just come from the United States because I'm here, YouTube, American company, me doing it. I just thought that's just how it worked. Could not have been more wrong. The United States is only accounted for 30.8% of all of the views of my videos. 70% of the views of all those videos are coming from outside of the United States, which is just mind blowing to me. It's still shocking. So the top countries by percentage, it's the United States at 30.8, the UK at 4.3, Germany 4.2, Brazil 3.9, and Australia 3.4. And then after that, it drops off. It's pretty small numbers, but there are so many different countries, and it just was really eye opening about the reach of, or just the popularity maybe of YouTube in general around the world, as well as K-pop or Stray Kids specifically, because you've got these people from all over who are essentially just coming to see the Stray Kids reactions and K-pop reactions, which is just wild. What has surprised me the most about those first 3 months of starting this YouTube channel? There's one that's so shocking to me. I still don't really believe that it happened. So there was a viewer suggested, and this was on, I think probably it was a comment on, I'm assuming it was a Stray Kids video. They suggested I check out a quote Brazilian pop singer named Bea Duarte. Part of the reason I started this channel was to have comments like that, suggest song that I never would have heard before, and try it out. And so I thought, well, I don't know I don't know any music from Brazil, I don't think. I certainly couldn't think of any at the time and just thought, why not try it? And so on November 4th of 2024, I posted my reaction to her album called Mulheres que Correm. I'm saying that wrong, I know. I don't remember how many days later it was, but comments started rolling in for people who watched the reaction and were tagging Bea Duarte, the singer, tagging her YouTube handle in those comments. They're trying to get Bea to come and watch this video, which I thought was surprising. I don't think I'd ever seen that before. Commenters literally trying to pull the artist over to a reaction. So I posted that reaction on November 4th, and to my surprise, Bea Duarte herself commented on my reaction. She apparently watched it and appreciated it, at least, I think, and left a comment. And I was so stunned. So I pinned that comment. It's the first comment you'll see if you go to that reaction. And I was so shocked that anybody I reacted to came and actually left a comment. But it gets even weirder, crazier, more unbelievable, at least for me. So that was so November 4th, I posted the video. November 22nd. So I'm in the YouTube, kind of the admin area where I'm looking at how many views the videos have. And I notice a spike in views to that reaction. Not only a spike in views of that video, but comments. Comments just started flooding in. And I thought, what happened? Because typically after you post a video, it'll spike and then it kind of dies out for me and just, you get a few visits or a few views, every day, but kind of flatlines, right? And so then there's the second spike on November 22nd. I thought, there's like, what happened? I don't know. Well, the crazy thing that happened is someone, and I wouldn't have known this until someone else commented, but another comment on that video said, Bea Duarte created a TikTok video and a YouTube short with me in it. She used a clip of my reaction to her album in that TikTok and YouTube short and sent that out to all of her followers. And that sent a ton of people back to that video to watch it and comment. And so even as I sit here like talking about this, I can't believe that that actually happened. It's insanity. I mean, what? Yeah, it makes no sense. Another surprise is the community in general. So the comments section and the community, or now it's been renamed posts on YouTube. The comments didn't even need me to be there, really. There were a lot of the people who watched the videos were just talking to each other. Some people would post questions, another commenter would answer the question, and they would kind of go back and forth about whatever that topic was. So even if I wasn't there like actively participating, these conversations just kept going. And I thought that's really wild. I thought people would just come in, if they liked it, they would thumb it up and they would bounce. But really people kind of hung around, and I don't know if they watched those or they were tagging each other and stuff and replying. That was a surprise. Related, then I had other people who had viewed the videos sharing my videos on TikTok. They told me in comments that they were sharing my videos in like private Facebook groups. They're sharing it on Twitter, and then some even went as far as to create like edits of my videos, like kind of like remixes and highlight reels and all kinds of screenshots and stuff. And I didn't expect all that. I don't even know what to think about that. I mean, it's so wild to see somebody taking a video I made and like editing it, commenting, whatever, and then reposting it. I can't even believe that happens. It's like the coolest thing ever. What have I learned in these first 3 months? Expect the unexpected. There's no way anybody could have predicted what has happened since I uploaded those first reactions, and specifically the first Stray Kids reaction. There's absolutely no way if you told me in September that Bea Duarte is going to make a TikTok about you, or you'd have 12,000 subscribers by the end of the year and 1 million views. You just can't ever predict what happens if you just start making stuff and putting it out there. Is the channel successful? Absolutely. And so much more than I ever could have predicted or even imagined. So back to my original idea for starting the channel, really, especially the reactions, was just to have people suggest new music that I like. And I have an endless list now of suggestions that I've been keeping track of. I've already heard a ton of amazing music. I mean, Stray Kids, great example. I mean, I like all of their albums that I've heard so far, and I've listened to a lot of them. There's so much music that I've found already. It's kind of overwhelming because I like to listen to the music after I do a reaction. If I like it, I'm going to listen to that like album on repeat for like the next few days, and I really enjoy it. So like bringing all of this like that much new music kind of into my playlists and into my normal routine is like it's just the best. It's kind of exhausting, in fact, because there's so much new stuff. I've gone um, from having nothing new to being like overwhelmed with newness, which is a great problem to have. The other part about successful is part that I didn't predict in the beginning. And that is now I know there are other people who are like me and are willing and open to exploring new music from around the world. So that was another thing why I wanted to do K-pop in general because it was something I wasn't hearing, unfamiliar from a different part of the world. That's why I did the Bea Duarte reaction from a different part of the world where I didn't know anyone. And so that's what I think a lot of the reactions in the future will be. We'll be trying out new music from places, music that originates from places all across the world. And it sounds like, yeah, in the comments there are people who are willing to go on that journey with me. Did my plan or strategy have any impact on what happened? Honestly, I doubt it. I think that the groups, the artists, the people I've reacted to, that's what people come to see, right? They come to see those artists and then you're like, okay, there's this weird guy talking about it. They'll watch it because it's that artist, not because it's me. Also, like without that music, without Stray Kids making that music and me reacting to it, I don't exist. This channel doesn't exist. None of this happens. So 1/100% just the fact that I made a reaction about it and uploaded it to YouTube and people wanna watch reactions. I don't really think I can take any credit for that. Do clickbait type thumbnails actually work? Yes. Yes, they do. If you search YouTube for anything related to like how to get people to view your videos, they're all going to say thumbnail, 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 and they'll show you how to do it. They'll give you templates and the tactics and stuff. I've even tried it. So there are times where inside of YouTube when you upload a video, you can test up to 3 different designs of a thumbnail for the same video. And YouTube will, depending on how often that particular thumbnail is clicked, it'll measure that and it'll tell you, this first one you made had the most clicks, so you should use that one. And it'll automatically turn that on. So I've done that. I've done it multiple times. I've done a clickbaity version of the thumbnail, and then I've done a more like completely abstract thumbnail that only people who are like massive fans of that particular group or even that song would understand when they see it for the first time. And those do terribly, and the clickbait stuff always wins. But even when those things did win, I took those down. And I was just like disappointed, and then I would put up my weird me, stick my head on a baby and put baby stay reacts or whatever kind of thing, because those are the types of thumbnails I like to make. Another thing I've learned is that YouTube really is a social media platform. It's not just a video platform. They do podcasts too. It's not just a podcast platform. I didn't see it that way when I started. I thought it was like a Netflix where I would create this video, upload it, and that was it. People might watch it, they might not. But that I realize now I wasn't seeing the whole picture. And so it makes sense now to me, like the idea of subscribers and comments and posts, because you really do have an opportunity to talk to the people who subscribe and view your videos. That could extend into anything, and now it makes, like I said, it makes more sense why YouTube is adding on, say, like a membership feature where people could like pay for additional content and stuff. So you really have this one location where you can actually create a community and then talk directly to that community through the videos like this, through the posts, and through the comment section. And so that was a switch that I had to make uh, to be more interactive with the people who watch the videos in these different ways. on YouTube. So changing kind of my thinking about what YouTube actually is and the opportunity it provides was I think, a big unlock that happened just recently. Monetization. Oh man, monetization is hard, especially for reaction videos. I got monetized or eligible for monetization really quickly. I think it was about a week after I uploaded the first Stray Kids video. And basically, what monetization means is really two things. It's YouTube was going to play or did play ads during my videos. Anyway, that's what they do. That's how they make money. When you become eligible for monetization, it means that you will get paid some of the money for that ad that plays during your video. It's not all of it. There's a percentage breakdown. I don't know if it's 40, 60, or whatever it is. You can, I'm sure, look that up. But it allows you to get paid for ads that play during the video. And there's some nuance there. The other feature is there's other ways that people on YouTube can basically give you money. They could sign up for a membership, or they can do the super thanks or the gifts, the things the little buttons you see inside of like the chat on live and in the comments. So all of those things, those avenues, or those different ways to for someone to like basically pay the video creator are unlocked once you become monetization eligible, and that's you need to have 1,000 subscribers and you need to have 4,000 hours of watched video time to get to that level. Now that's all fine and good. Reaction videos are different. It's way harder to make money from a reaction video, and that's because you would think the easiest way to get money is just because these huge advertisers are going to put ads in those videos and you'd make money off the ads, and you don't need to think about other people just giving you money through like a thanks or a gift. Reaction videos are not eligible, typically are not eligible for monetization of the ads that are shown in the video. That's because when you're doing a reaction, you're listening to some music, some artist's music, or there's other reactions to like TV shows and whatever movies and stuff. All of that is copyrighted content. And generally speaking, if you use copyrighted content in your video, you cannot make money from the ads that are shown in that video. That's a YouTube policy. And I'm not an expert on it. I'm new to all this. This is just what I've seen in my own videos. There are some exceptions, some nuance, but typically, if you're going to become a reactor, you're going to upload reaction videos, I would not expect to make any money on the ads that run in those videos. Okay, so with that in mind, my best month, so let's get to the real dollars and cents here. The best month that I've had so far was October of 2024. I think the total amount of money I made from YouTube was $235 US. Great. That's amazing amount of money. I didn't think this would make any money at all. This like hobby of mine, making videos. So to have a hobby that actually provides a little bit of money, amazing. I thought it was going to be zero. So I'm like super happy, thrilled even. So here's the breakdown. What I talked about just a minute ago about the ads and copyrighted content, etc. So of the $235 I made that month, only $54 was from ads shown in videos. Okay? And the majority of that $54 came from videos that were not reactions. So I had created some original videos, like I created a video on my struggles with Ticketmaster buying Stray Kids tickets. I did some YouTube lives. I think I did the K-pop reactions video maybe at that time in October, by October. And those were the only videos that were making ad revenue. That's it. Out of the whatever 100, I don't know how many videos I've done, but only a few of them were eligible for that ad money because they don't have any copyrighted content. I wasn't playing music during those or watching music videos or any of that stuff. So again, 235 bucks total, only $54 was from ads. So the remaining $181 was from people, viewers of the videos who basically donated their money to me through like those super thanks and gifts features, which is crazy to me. I mean, insane to me. So that breakdown is about 23% came from the ads and 77% came from people just saying thank you and donating money. It still blows my mind that people are that generous to creators who are just making YouTube videos. It's amazing. So what I'd say, if you're considering doing a reaction channel, I think if you're looking at it to make money, it's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be pretty tough. So the K-pop, the K-pop misconceptions video, it did make the most money. So to give you an idea of how much money you can make, it had about, I think as I was looking at all this data, it had about 15,000 views in 2 months, and it made $45 in total, period. And that's from the ads. So if you want to make content creation and YouTube a full-time job, it's going to be really hard if you're using copyrighted content, unless you're counting on people basically donating and becoming members and all of that stuff, because the ad revenue is going to be hard, real slim, doing reaction videos. So you're going to have to find some other ways. I mean, there are other ways. If you search YouTube, you can find a million. I mean, there's endless supply of people talking about how to make money off of YouTube videos, but reaction videos are tough because you're using copyrighted content. So what actions could I take or should I take based on the data and the learnings so far? Well, number one, I'm trying to accommodate people from around the world who watch these videos. I'm trying to change when I would have a YouTube live or a premiere. I try to mix up those days and times of day. Like for me, I'm in Pacific time. So I try to do one in the morning, and then maybe the next time I do it like later at night, just to give people an opportunity. And they've asked for that in the comments. They've said, "Hey, can you do this?" Or even do it on the weekend, and try to move those things around so that other people can participate. As I said earlier, I think YouTube really is a social media platform. And so when you do a YouTube live, or you just pre-record a video and then set it to a premiere, in both of those cases you have a live chat. And so the people who want to watch the video can get together, they can watch it, and they can all kind of watch together, and then they're chatting. Those chats just go nuts and they're talking to each other. I can chime in if I want to. I don't have to. I can just do whatever or watch the video. But that conversation piece centered around like my video, I think is really important and really powerful. And so I'm trying to accommodate that a bit more, just switching up the times so that people have an opportunity to be a part of it. The other piece is that obviously reaction videos are tough if you're going to if you want to make any money with YouTube videos. So I always had the plan to do more or do original videos, which then kind of free you from that. You can make money if you're creating original content. And so the plan was always to do that. And so I realize now I would just need to do probably just more of it, I guess. And there's other things I want to do, like not only just the scripted things, but also to do interviews. And as I expand kind of into the future of what this channel is, I think there'll be more opportunities to make those types of videos. So what is the future of this channel? Going back to kind of why this channel started, is I've realized that if you're the type of person that has this desire to create, whether it's drawing or writing or painting, or I don't think that is ever going to die. I think the longer, and especially in my case, the longer I ignored it, which I did, it just grows stronger and stronger. And eventually you're just going to you're going to need to find some outlet for that creativity, whatever it might be. Doesn't have to be on YouTube, doesn't have to be in public. You're just gonna have to start drawing at home or writing at home, even if nobody sees it. I think that stuff just kind of gets bottled up and has to come out, especially if you're like me when you work certain jobs basically that are like to pay the bills and not necessarily satisfying that creative outlet. You need to do something on the side, and so that's what this channel is. I think now the focus is, I feel a shift, like that aspect is really interesting to me about just like creativity in general. I started with kind of a music focus, but I want to open that up. I want to expand that to be more about creativity in general. So it might be any type of art I want to start to explore. I don't know what that looks like yet. That'll be the challenging part, to try to make more original videos that talk about art in general. Or I've already started that a little bit. For example, I did a video called Why Create that was based off of Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin's a producer. He wrote a book about kind of his process and being creative. And that idea originated because I love that book, and I thought maybe I should just do like a video of like a review of his book. And I thought, well, that's kind of predictable. Like, how could I make it more interesting? And so I kind of intertwined it with my own experience and my own like work creative kind of balance and packaged it up that way. And that was the result. That was the video I made about him, just being creative in general. So I think I want to do more of that. I want to interview more creative people. I interviewed my sister-in-law, who's a pastry chef and an origami artist. I have some other friends and coworkers who are also in creative fields. I want to interview them and just talk generally about. I think creativity and art is really the future of the channel. So what are the goals then? Well, the first goal is the same as it was when I originally started the channel, is I still need to find new music. I That desire for me is pretty strong. So reactions will continue. I think what I'd like to do more of is bounce a little more frequently to music from different countries. Ideally so that I can just represent all of the different countries who are viewing the videos already. That would be really neat. So I want to try music from other parts of the world. So that's going to happen for sure. And I want to challenge myself to make some more original videos that maybe are not so specifically music focused. Can I write a script? Can I put a good story together? I don't know what they're going to be. We'll see. I'll have to try to figure that out. And then the last part too, related, is I want this channel to be an inspiration. I want other people who are thinking about making a YouTube channel to actually do it. I want people who are thinking about whatever, wanting to get into graphic design or wanting to just start drawing at home. I want to inspire those people to do those things, because I've learned, especially through this YouTube thing, that it's impossible to predict the outcome. Like, you just have to take the action and then just let whatever happen happen. And so that's kind of my approach. I just want to try to see if I can inspire people to create stuff, to make stuff. What about the thumbnails? What's the future of the thumbnails? The idea I have in my head, I don't know how I'm going to achieve it, is I want people to come to my YouTube page, hit the videos tab just to see the thumbnails, even if they don't watch any videos. I want basically my videos page to look like an art gallery. That's the idea in my head. Can I do it? I have no idea, but I want it to look like a creative assembly of thumbnails, all different, no templates, no more headshots of me, no more text, like just straight up images that are very related, especially for reactions. They need to be very specifically related to whatever that music is. If it's a certain song or a shot from a music video or based off the album cover, I'd rather them just look cool and be interesting, an interesting image by itself, rather than something that just wants to make you click. For the original videos and the interviews, I'm not sure how I do that, because those, to me, especially if it's an interview, I don't know if I can just do something that looks like a Picasso image and people would see that or click it knowing it was an interview. So I don't know yet what that connection looks like. I don't want to mislead anyone into like the thumbnail looks a certain way, they get to the video and it's an interview with somebody. I want that to be a smooth kind of experience. They should know what they're getting into. before they click. So the original videos and interviews, I don't know yet what those look like. We'll see. I need to figure that out. The fears. What am I afraid of now? It's a little bit different now. Now that I've done a bunch of videos, it's been, let's see, I'm recording this on February 13th of 2025. So it's been several months already. I've got a bunch of videos out. I feel pretty confident about doing reactions in some of the original videos, like related to K-pop and Stray Kids and stuff. But the biggest fear I have is, can I actually create videos that are not reactions, and would anybody either watch them or like them? I think that's my fear, is that people won't. Like, I'll do something and it'll be awful and people will hate it. Um, but that still might be a good learning experience, because if you can have a bunch of failures, then that might push me in a direction that would lead me to make something that people actually like, which would be neat. So a lot of this is just testing stuff out and seeing what works and what doesn't work. But that's a big fear. Like, can I actually write a script and put a video together, put a story together that people like? Now, it would be cool for this to actually turn into a full-time job. I don't see how that actually happens if I made enough money from YouTube to pay my bills, especially since reactions are clearly the type of videos that get tons of views for me. I would have to find some other way. I'd have to find, and those don't really get monetized that much. So I'd have to figure out a way to make these original videos and get a lot of views, lots and lots of views. So I think that would take a ton of time to build that kind of audience and subs and all that stuff. I think it's probably a long road. Not to mention, it's not necessarily a high probability of happening anyway. So I'm not counting on it. It would be great. The other thing that I think I'm probably shooting myself in the foot and hindering that dream coming true is by just being weird and doing weird thumbnails and not following kind of the mechanical optimized path of, just do what's going to get you the most views, period. So I don't want to do that. That might be an issue that might be preventing me from, I don't know, making more money or doing this full time. I don't know. And so the next thing, or the next question I have in my head that I don't have an answer to, is there a happy medium I can find? Can I still be creative with thumbnails and the videos and stuff, and be successful, and not do all that stuff that, the not do all those tactics that I feel are tricking people into coming and watching, that I just would feel awful if I take that approach. So I don't know. I gotta see if there's a happy medium out there. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this actually inspires someone to either start making YouTube videos. I hope you learn something. I hope you start creating, and I hope to see you in the next video.